Hello and welcome to the Bronx Rundown. I'm Dominic Konoreski.
And I'm Derek Abrego.
This is our first ever episode here on the New York Sports Show. Derek, excited to start this new podcast segment and have it be every Wednesday. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk some New York sports.
We've had this in the talking for how long? About 2 weeks?
Oh my gosh, not longer than that. At least a month and a half, it feels like, And I myself, doing the New York Sports Show really all by myself. I've always wanted like a co-host, so it's really nice to do this weekly segment with you.
Now we got something going.
I know, right? And you were as big as a sport fan as I am, if not maybe even a little bigger. But you're a Giants fan though, wearing a Jet jersey. Okay. That's a cardinal sin. That's a cardinal sin right there.
It is. It's like wearing a Red Sox jersey, but still, it brings good luck. Last week we didn't have good luck with the Giants, but maybe this week we play the Seahawks. So
I'm excited to see what Daniel Jones could do because he did not have a horrible game against the Cowboys. In fact, I think Daniel Jones had the best game of the season for him against the Cowboys. Now, the Giants have not beaten Dallas since 2016, so we got to go back to when Obama was in office.
I think Dak's 13-0 against the Giants since 2017. It is terrible.
Yeah, something like
Worst statistic I've ever seen as a Giants fan. Couldn't get. To be fair, he gave us the opportunity to score several times. It's just we could not complete it every time. I think it was 15 points on straight field goals. It was atrocious.
It really was. It reminds me of. Was it the Jets-Giants preseason game when it was all field goals? It was something like that. It was Jets-Panthers. It was something like that. It was a preseason game. It was all field goals, and you know what? That's not fun football, especially if your team is the one just getting the field goals and they're losing.
Hey, at least we didn't get blown out.
That is true. That is true.
That was something I had in the back of my mind that whole game.
Watching the Giants-Cowboys games all last year, that was torture. Right there. That was absolutely torture. But there's nothing more painful, especially me as a Jet fan, than watching a team lose by one damn point. One damn point. And that just wants me to flip out. That makes me want to call my therapist, be like, hey, yeah.
I'm on the verge.
Yeah, I'm on the verge of burning my Aaron Rodgers jersey. Dick, you should just give me
a gift.
That was rough. That was very, very rough watching, both the Giants and Jets lose close games.
To be fair,
it really was.
I think we all had expectations that the Giants were just not going to win this week.
That is true. I at least had that expectation.
I was just hoping that it wasn't going to be like a 42-0 blowout. All right, I'll take it. But Jets on the other occasion, that's a different story.
The Jets are still second place in the AFC East because when you think about it,
Patriots
are terrible. Tua's out. The Dolphins have Skylar Thompson, Huntley, and Tim Boyle as their quarterbacks.
Right.
They've been through 4 quarterbacks already, and they've only played 4 games. That is disgusting. On a serious note, Tim Boyle.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up on the Dolphins after doing the preseason with the Texans.
Uh-huh.
He was on the Jets last year, threw a 100-plus yard interception on Thanksgiving. Everyone says that.
I remember that.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That was the Black Friday game, but everyone calls that the Fail Mary. I love Tim Boyle overall. I've met him. He's a great guy. He's yet to win an NFL game, though. He's yet to win an NFL game. He had a losing record in college. How is he bouncing around the league like that?
See,
on a serious note.
I feel like we would have at least one win under our belt combined if we were to play compared to him. But he's had teams where it's like the Jets last year. They weren't great.
No, they weren't.
Now you have Aaron Rodgers. He kind of knows how to use all his pieces. Same thing with Tua, but he's just terrible.
The AFC East is the Jets' division to lose because their only true competitor is Buffalo. They're yet to face Buffalo this season. Of course, they'll be playing the 2 games. The Jets are offensive production, it's really been up and down.
It's been all defense.
It really has been all defense. I like what Rodgers has been able to do overall the season, but really comes down to play calling, and it's a Nathaniel Hackett issue, but it's also a Robert Saleh issue. How many times has Robert Saleh said, this can't be happening. It's unacceptable. We need to get to the bottom of it. It's almost like watching Aaron Boone doing a press conference saying it's right in front of us.
How many years in a row now?
It's just
2018 since he's...
Yeah.
Boone's keep saying it's right in front of us.
It just
still haven't gotten a World Series.
It makes no sense on how these guys are able to coach in New York. I mean, New York is the mecca of sports. Los 100%. Angeles, California in general, that's right behind it. When you think about it, it's really only the Dodgers pulling California because the Angels are irrelevant.
Yeah, that's right.
Athletics are leaving like my dad left me. It's it's rough. I know that the LA Kings are a good hockey team, but
they're not as known.
Yeah, they're not as
Rangers
known.
To the Islanders.
Exactly. I mean, you go anywhere in the world, you will see someone with a Yankee hat on or a Yankee short.
Oh,
everyone knows about the Yankees and everyone knows about the Dodgers. Focusing on football, though, it is the Jets' division to lose because the only true competition are the Buffalo Bills. But they need to stay in range, though, to beat the Bills in the standings. Now, I think the Jets are a playoff team. It's just a matter of where they fall in the playoffs. But the Giants, though, how do you feel about the Giants' playoff chances? I mean, they're 1-3. It's really not essentially a mathematical must-win, but going in against the Seahawks, this really is a must-win for the Giants.
To be fair, going into the season, I knew that the Giants, my opinion, were not going to make it over 500. Maybe like 3 games under 500 at best, but there's no shot of us making playoffs whatsoever. We have, like everyone knows, this terrible O-line with no time for Daniel Jones in the pocket, which means we can't get the ball out to Malik Neighbors, and Malik Neighbors out with a concussion right now. Thought he died last game.
That was just insane watching, and the announcers didn't say anything about it when he was down.
I think they were talking about Micah, that whole play-by-play, and it's just like you see Neighbors just like dead, unconscious. I was like, great. There goes our rookie.
One thing I really want to mention about the Giants, the 1-3 Giants, they only have scored 60 offensive points this season. That is the lowest in all of the NFC.
I'm pretty sure most of them came off of field goals, too.
Exactly. I mean, the entire game against Dallas, it was field goal. It was like watching the Oprah Winfrey show. You get a field goal, you get a field goal, you get a field goal. It was disgusting.
I think the best performance that we've gotten out of Daniel Jones this year was against the Browns. But nobody should have any competition against the Browns. Dallas beat them. Giants beat them. Shocker. Not really.
But something that has not been mentioned for the Giants is how good their defense has been this season. I mean, they have the lowest amount of points allowed in the NFC East, and they have one of the lowest amount of points allowed in the entire NFC. I mean, this Giants squad has defensively been, on point.
You think about who they've played so far: the Commanders, the Vikings, the Browns, the Cowboys. All games where we should have been blown out, other than the Commanders game. We kept it within close. I think the worst game we gave up was the Vikings, 27 points, I think it was.
Yeah, and the Vikings, it was a very big surprise with Sam Darnold. I'm calling it, this season, the sudden Sam Darnold era, because everyone thought it was going to be J.J. McCarthy. He gets injured, before the preseason is even over. Sam Darnold comes in. Everyone has labeled him as a bust. And, in all fairness, he really has been playing like a bust his entire career. The Minnesota Vikings are not only one of the best teams in all of the NFL right now, but more importantly, this Viking squad is undefeated.
I think, how many teams are undefeated at the moment? You have the Chiefs, you have the Vikings. Who else do we have?
You have you just have the Chiefs and Vikings.
When you think about, obviously, there's a lot of controversy about, Chiefs getting calls. But then you think about Vikings, it's like, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have, Kirk Cousins anymore.
No, they don't.
We all thought they were going to have a mediocre season this year. So far, they're off to a hot start.
Yeah, I ruled the Vikings out when J.J. McCarthy went down. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to have a big season anyways with a rookie quarterback, especially, losing Kirk Cousins. I know he only won a total of one playoff game in his career, but even so, he's the quarterback to get Minnesota to the playoffs. It seems like every single season, he puts up double-digit win seasons. That's very big shoes to fill, and I'm just honestly surprised that, they were gonna start J.J. McCarthy either way his rookie year. I would have, just had him sit and lawn, and it just sucks. He already has a major injury in his career, and he hasn't even played a regular season snap in the NFL.
To be fair, I mean, the whole NFL, it's been rushing quarterbacks. Vite, who has been doing well with it. The Falcons have been doing well. The Patriots, granted, they're having a terrible start to the season, but, not using Drake May as much as they should be. I kind of don't mind it. Get the experience back secondhand. Same thing with Michael Penix. You learn behind Kirk Cousins,
Yeah, the Falcons are doing it the right way. I'm very excited to see what ends up happening with Michael Penix. And when it comes to Bryce Young, obviously still benched. I think his time in Carolina is going to be up if the Panthers find a suitable trade partner. I think if they're not able to, then we will see a Bryce Young start again for Carolina. It's really hard to say if it's just Bryce Young not being a good quarterback or if it's been a developmental issue. You can't compare him to Andy Dalton. He's been in the league now for over a decade. You can't compare those two quarterbacks with each other.
Like you said, it's just pure experience.
Really
the
is.
Most experience. Usually the veterans have, secondhand to what should be done, what shouldn't be done, how to vision the field. Bryce Young just doesn't have it at all.
And when it comes to not having it at all, going to the New York Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton didn't have it at all last year. I mean, he hit 191 in 101 games. But this season, regular season is over. Yankees getting set to play their ALDS games. He finished the regular season batting .233 with 114 games played under his belt. Massive turnaround, massive rebound for his age 34 season. Now, that batting average number isn't the best, but, I mean, going from hitting almost a full 10 points below the Mendoza line to now hitting, .233, that, in my opinion, that was a great season for Stanton.
I also think there was a stat that without Stanton this year, when the Yankees played, they had I think there were 5 games over 500, but when it came to playing with Stanton, it was just a game changer because you had everybody walk Judge, and then there was nobody behind him. Now you have Soto, you have Judge, you walk both of them, you have Stanton, you get bases loaded, then you have Wells, who's been obviously having a little bit of struggle towards the end of the season.
This was his first full season in the majors, so I mean that's kind of expected.
And then that second half of just playing over Trevino for Wells has just been awesome, phenomenal. He's been productive. I think he's the top runner for AL Rookie of the Year over Kowser. Heel, I thought Heel was going to be too, but
Luis Heel, he fell off at season's end. He got banged up in his last start for the regular season. It sucks because the first 2-3 months of the season he was unhittable. He was unstoppable. I thought he was even a legitimate candidate for the Cy Young Award because that's just how good he was and how big of an effect he was having on the Yankees.
But now he has no control at all with his fastball, no command with the slider, and if he does, it's either right down the middle where it's giving opportunities to opponents to get on base, to drive in runs. It's not been as great, but hopefully it just locks in for the postseason.
I'm very interested to see what ends up happening with Jason Dominguez and Alex Verdugo.
I think they were talking about it, how Jason Dominguez would play maybe the first 6-7 innings, and then Verdugo would come in defensively, because we all know that Jason hasn't been great defensively. Went to the game, made that terrible error in left field.
But you know what? I did a video a few days back on Jason Dominguez and playing left field. Jason Dominguez, if you count all of his minor league career games and even games in the major leagues, he has not even played a half season in left field. So, the Yankees throw him out in left field. That's really uncharted territory for him when it comes to professional baseball. So I'm not, frankly, surprised that he struggled playing left field.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, it's also, he needs to learn it. And I don't know if I really want to see him play left field at all in the playoffs, because you can't mess up in the playoffs. You can't you can't struggle in games like how the Yankees struggled towards the end of the season with Baltimore.
And then the Pirates.
I
don't think we've had a legitimate left fielder since Brett Gardner.
It's the Brett Gardner course. I know Brett Gardner has gotten so much hate. I mean, he really has, because he's just been an average player. He had an average career. But what many people do not realize, especially now that Brett Gardner is gone, I feel like a lot more are realizing it, though. Brett Gardner was a very good defensive player, and before his injury, he was an above-average offensive player, at least when it came to running the bases. Brett Gardner, except for the final year and a half, 2 years of his career, he was the kind of player that you could count on.
He was also a great glove in left field. He was reliable. Obviously, he had his moments where he did bang the dugout. I mean, that was a game changer, though, because it got everyone up from their butts, all fired up. Remember the banging of it?
Yes.
All that
oh
was
my
hilarious.
Gosh, that became such a meme. I used that on so many thumbnails.
That became the double celebration. The double and single celebration.
It's just... It really is tough, though, seeing Dominguez struggle. I like Verdugo overall. I was surprised when the Yankees did acquire Verdugo from the Red Sox, because I feel like we weren't in desperate need of, a left fielder as Verdugo brings. Verdugo really has always been an average offensive player, but he is a great defender. I mean, the Yankees could always try to get Giancarlo to play the outfield and then maybe have Dominguez DH. Because the biggest thing that the Yankees need, because overall they're a very solid offensive team, it's just defense that's been the issue.
Oh, 100%. Having no third baseman, having to move Jazz over to third, having Glaber, I think he's top 5 in errors in all second basemen. Volpe has been costly last few games. Terrible bat, but
I just don't understand on how Volpe gets unlimited chances. Meanwhile, the Yankees were trying not to call Dominguez up because they want to delay his free agency year from 2029 to 2030. But then you have Volpe, who really has been inconsistent this season. I mean, yes, he had a rebound season. He batted .243. But I feel like there's just so much more potential. And, what do you think about that? Because it is tough. Do you keep him in the majors and let him be inconsistent but develop, or do you send him down to AAA for, let's say, a month?
228 average with 243 this
ugly.
year. You still have Peraza, you have Pereira, you have Oswaldo up in the majors who hasn't been given the opportunity. He gets on hot streaks and then can't continue it because he's benched so often.
Aaron Boone is allergic to hot streaks, because unless your name is Aaron Judge or Juan Soto, it seems like whenever a player's in a hot streak, they get the night off.
Oh, 100%.
And that's been a running thing.
He started off hot in the season, the series against the Astros this year. He was great, and then just like it disappeared. We put LeMahieu, we put Rizzo at first over him. We put who did we have at third? LeMahieu. We had J.D. Davis.
Yeah, now
John
you have
Birdie.
Yeah, now you have Jazz Chisholm.
So, again, there's a lot of things that have gone on this season. It's been terrible.
It's been a struggling season. The Yankees haven't dealt with as many injuries as they have in the past, but a major one coming in the final 3 games was Anthony Rizzo, fractured 2 fingers, and it really is down now to pain management. Aaron Boone said he could be in contention for possibly the ALCS or World Series. I just don't see that happening. Ben Rice is, more than likely going to get the call at first base. I mean, as of now, there hasn't been anything,
He
saying
did play. I mean, to be fair, he also played the last game, but that just rosters expanded.
Exactly.
I'm hoping, like I said, I'm a big fan of Oswaldo Cabrera. I'm hoping he gets more playing time. He's got a great glove. He can play all over the field. He can play left field too.
Cabrera deserves it 100%. I mean, he batted .247 this year, which is big considering he's overall a .233 hitter. And this season, where he batted .247, that's in 108 games. He batted .247 as well in his rookie season in 2022, but that was only 44 games. So it's nice that he was able to put up that same amount, that same batting average number in more games. In more than double the games played. That's very positive to see, and especially coming off of a season in 2023 where he played almost the exact number of games played. He played 115 in 2023, and he batted .211. I mean, we're talking a major rebound season that Cabrera was able to put up.
More production from RBIs brought in as well.
Exactly, 36 to 29.
Striking out also less.
Exactly.
I feel like he's gotten a better eye overall, but again, just not given the opportunities. Same thing with Pereira and Peraza, but I think they've also had injuries this year, which kind of held them back. Hopefully they get healthy next season, kind of test the waters with, sending Volpe down, playing Cabrera more, because I think this is the end of it for Rizzo's season for his contract.
I think it is. Oh, yes, for his contract it is. I don't think we're going to see Rizzo back in the Bronx. He's a fan favorite, but I can't picture the Yankees going with Rizzo, especially since they rushed Ben Rice up. Ben Rice is a great minor leaguer. I think the Yankees want to see what that young gun could do.
I feel like keep him in... Because he never really played in AAA when they called him up.
No, he never really got the opportunity to, so it is difficult to see exactly how Ben Rice is going to do. Because, of course, this regular season, I mean, 171 with a negative 0.4 WAR. That's disgusting.
28 hits.
No, 26 hits, but 7 of them, though, were for home runs. And that's something that I honestly am interested to see. If Ben Rice was to play a full, consistent season and not get sent up and down, could this guy be like a legitimate, home run hitter?
How many games did he play that?
A total of 50 games and 7 home runs. But, I mean, that's all, going up and down, though,
Fighting the position with DJ LeMahieu as well.
Exactly. So
he showed us what he can do with that 3-homer game that day. I mean, he has the power. It's just... He needs to sit on the ball.
He needs consistent time.
Needs a better eye in general.
He does. I mean, 48 strikeouts in 50 games. You don't want that from your hitter. I mean, that's gonna push him to the bottom 3 in the lineup. I mean, we're averaging almost a strikeout per game, and that's
162 game average is 156 strikeouts the whole year. I mean,
yeah, that's really
Judge's
really
rookie year strikeouts, which was terrible.
It really is amazing just how, long Judge has been a Yankee. It doesn't even feel that long. I remember it like it was yesterday. He made his debut.
Back-to-back home runs with him and Tyler Austin. That was the greatest day of my life.
That really was. I mean, 2016. It's almost going to be a decade.
My God.
Wow.
But he just keeps getting better and better.
He does. He does. Aaron Judge. Well, you know what? You could say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has aged like fine wine when it comes to career production, and so has Aaron Judge.
He might be getting, more injuries are hitting him now, but still, it's still been productive. Nothing but productivity from Aaron Rodgers, and same thing with Judge. Judge having 58 home runs. We all thought he was going to break it. Imagine what he would do if he didn't have that first month where he just absolutely struggled.
Exactly. So here's a good question for you. World Series chances, because I just saw it appear on my screen, WFAN. They were talking about another possible, Subway World Series, Yankees-Mets. Do you think the Yankees could go all the way to the big game, and do you think the Mets could?
The Mets, obviously, their bullpen has been terrible this year, been inconsistent. If they get hot, they're those teams where if they're hot, they will stay on that hot streak and they will grind through it. I think if they stay hot through the first wild card series, they're definitely going to make it. But other than that,
I could see them going as far as the NLCS. I can't picture the Mets beating the Dodgers, though. I mean, that's...
But again, the Dodgers have no starting rotation.
They don't, but they have a lot of big offensive hitters, though.
That is true. The Yankees, on the other hand, we have to wait on the Royals and the Orioles game, and then
I'd rather face Baltimore, honestly.
I'd rather face the Royals.
Okay, well, why is that? Let's talk about that.
Obviously, this year we ran through the Royals. We had that one good series where we swept them, and then obviously we went on that terrible month and a half. But I feel like their main productivity comes out of Vinny Pasquantino, Bobby Witt, and Salvador Perez.
That is true.
And Vinny I think he's hurt as well. So, kind of dwindled down. We've been great against Brady Singer. I think the only one we've really struggled against is Seth Lugo. He had that one good game against us, but when we swept them, we also beat on him a little bit.
Now, see, I rather face the O's because I feel like the O's and Yankees, I mean, this is turning into like a very big rivalry because the teams always go at it with each other. We all know, I mean, we were just talking about it a few minutes ago, the O's beat up the Yankees to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that like they gave the Yankees, I wouldn't say a run for their money, but they made them just, sweat just a little bit. If the Yankees are able to beat the O's in the ALDS, which I think New York could, I mean, that's going to be more momentum, being able to beat a team that beat up on you towards season's end. That's going to be more momentum for New York going into the ALCS.
I feel like if the Yankees do play the Orioles, they got to get hot. Gleyber, Judge, they're awesome against the Orioles statistically. There should be no reason why we struggle. We have probably Cole's going to be the Game 1 starter, maybe Rodon too, and then I believe Heel should be number 3. It's my thought. I don't know about yours, but Heel should be the number 3 starter.
Ooh, you know what? You probably just sparked a big discussion with that. So what about Schmidt?
He hasn't had that inconsistency he hasn't had that consistency since before he got hurt.
That is true, but Hill also got beat up though in his last.
So did Schmidt. Schmidt gave up 4 runs.
I know, but Hill though, I mean, his ERA went from being sub 2 to now, almost being in the 4s.
I think the same thing with Schmidt too. Schmidt's at a high 3.
True.
So I mean, it can go either way. It's just I do want to avoid.
That would be interesting.
I do want to avoid Stroman being in that starting rotation.
No, Stroman cannot be in the starting rotation. If the Yankees put Stroman in the starting rotation, then they're basically begging whoever they face, Baltimore, Kansas City, be like, please take this win away from us. If the Yankees start Marcus Stroman, that is war right there. Marcus Stroman got lit up against Baltimore.
Orioles.
Imagine
6 straight hits.
Imagine if Stroman faces Baltimore in the ALDS. Baltimore will be salivating. Gunnar Henderson will be salivating. Stroman would get lit up like it's Vietnam out there. That is going to be absolutely devastating for the New York Yankees if Marcus Stroman is to start a playoff game.
So who would we have? We would have Cole, we have Rodon, we have Heel, we have Schmidt. Then we just go with a bigger bullpen.
We don't have Nestor, but Nestor Cortez may be back. He may be back.
But do you rely on him without a rehab?
Well, what I would do with Nestor, let's say he's able to come back, have him be like a spot starter, and just say we just need like 2 or 3 innings from you, and then maybe go towards Hill. Because Hill hasn't always been a starter. I mean, I don't mind seeing Hill start, Hill or Schmidt. Don't mind that whatsoever, but the Yankees need to stay as away from Marcus Stroman as my dad stays away from me. They can't go near him to get the starting
I feel like
job.
This is where kind of the Michael King being traded away for Juan Soto kind of affects us.
Boom.
But we use them as a long reliever, not as a a starter.
Yeah, he never was able to be a starter. He was always great out of the bullpen, and I made so many videos saying, why can't the Yankees just use this guy as a long reliever? They start doing that. He starts performing big, and then boom, we had to do that to get Soto. The Yankees need to retain Soto this offseason. They need to, because...
Blank check.
Yeah, blank... Well, actually, no. I wouldn't say blank check, because if you're just paying fully Judge and Soto... You won't be able to go out and sign any big-name free agent pitchers or any other guys. You cannot have your offense be around Judge and Soto. You can't. You need, just consistent baseball players. I mean, if we lose Soto, those are going to be very big shoes to fill for whoever we get, whether it's having someone come up from the minor league, signing a free agent, or whatnot. Those are going to be massive shoes to fill that, more than likely those won't be filled unless we get another Juan Soto, you know?
See, my thought was for blank check was nobody's put up as good as numbers as Judge and Soto did in as teammates, hitting back-to-back in the lineup since Mantle and Maris, the Eminem brothers.
But if you were willing to give Soto all the money, I mean, so let's say
41 home runs, his career high, and he didn't use the short porch at all. When you think about that,
I mean, it's more than impressive. I mean, Juan Soto did have a historic season, but this is, you know, my biggest offensive argument. Let's say Jason Dominguez is able to find his stuff. He gets consistent playing time. He's able to put up better numbers than Soto. He becomes a free agent 2029, 2030, given his service time. The Yankees won't be able to pay Dominguez. And then they could lose Dominguez.
Depends on how big of a contract we sign Soto to. Depends on how many years we give him. He is 26, so obviously people will think about a 14-year, but I don't think more than 12 years of a contract he should have.
No, actually, it's even better because he's only 25. So I mean, theoretically, if you gave him a 15-year contract, that only, you know, that brings him to what, 40? I mean, I don't think he'll be putting up these numbers at 40. I would do a 10-year.
Yeah, I mean, 10-year would work. That's what we gave Judge, but Judge is also in his 30s.
Judge. Yeah, Judge was already in his 30s when he signed the contract. That's the issue. You know, we're dealing...
He's going to be 40 when he retires, give or take. That's when his contract ends.
And, you know, we're dealing with a very young player. Very young. I mean, 25 already, a very, looking at his stats, MVP, voter getter, came second place. All-Star World Series winning player at 25.
Had MVP votes in his second year of playing ever. I mean,
we may not see that again from a player, period.
2018, obviously, he lost Rookie of the Year, but he lost it to Ronald Acuna Jr., who would later go on
to
40-70. I also don't get about that Ohtani 50-50.
No, Shohei Ohtani is an amazing player. He's not worth $600 million, though.
Oh, no, 100% not.
He's not worth $600 million.
Watch him blow out his arm and just never pitch again. Obviously, he'll be a great DH.
Yeah, he is right now.
A DH isn't worth all that money.
No. So, Derek, is there anything else that you think that we need to run down here on the Bronx Rundown?
No, I think we pretty much got it all covered today.
Yeah, I think that this was a great debut episode. And remember, everyone, this is going to debut every Wednesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. Hit the subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Or just put reminder on your calendar. Every Wednesday, me and Derek, the Bronx Rundown. Thank you guys for watching our inaugural video here on the New York Sports Show.
It was awesome doing this. I can't wait to do it even more.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Boom.